everyone. Welcome back to Fabulous Living with Angela Jones. Thanks so much for tuning in. Glad you could make it another Sunday. It's been a rough week for me. So I have to say, what I was looking forward to all week long was getting back here so I could be with you. So I hope you guys had a much better week than I did. It's been a pretty rough week for your girl, but today is a brand new day. It's a brand new start, and I'm excited about it, and I have some fun things in store for today. So, speaking of today, I have a great show planned, and we're going to kind of do a little bit of Valentine's Day theme today. As you can see, I have this lovely drink here in front of me, which um, I'll talk about in a minute. But first, before we get started, I want to kind of go back to last week, and I want to kind of take care of a couple of housekeeping matters. I was a little nervous last week, first show, and I realized I didn't mention a couple of things that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned to you this week. So, for starters, I wanted to let you know that the recipes for the spinach dip and the touchdown turtles, which you'll see on the website, are just pecan caramel turtles. If you do a search for it on the blog, you'll find both the turtle recipe and the spinach dip recipe. And I promise I will get the chicken recipe and the salmon ball recipe on there within the week. I'll definitely try to get those. I'll try to get those on there for you this week too, along with everything today. So bear with me. I'm still trying to, figure out all the different kick out all the different kinks and get all the nuances together for everything for the show. But my plan will always be to show you different recipes or different tips or whatever on Sundays when I'm with you at 5 o'clock, and then during the week. Make sure I post everything up to the blog so you can get the recipes and any tips or tricks or anything that I mention. And also know that if you don't find things on the blog, which is, by the way, www.fabuleuxliving.com, you can always find things on Instagram because sometimes, I work a full-time job, so sometimes it's kind of hard to blog every single, day or sometimes even a couple of times a week. I'm trying to get better with that, so bear with me with that too. You can also find things posted on Instagram. So some of the recipes, especially if they're short and sweet, I'm just going to be posting them to Instagram. So I definitely want to make sure I told you those things so that we can kind of have some continuity between the blog and the show. How about that? The second thing I wanted to tell you, again, I'm going to blame everything on last week being my first week and the fact that I was a little nervous. I know I'm not going to be able to ride on that too much longer, so I promise you I won't dwell on it. But I failed to tell you something very important, and it killed me that I forgot this last week. But I was, like I said, I was just kind of like, and the Super Bowl thing kind of had me all hyped up. So, yeah. So the thing I forgot to tell you is that when I was naming, I'm the oldest of three and the only girl, and I'm raised in this area, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm a mother. I have a son that's 21. And the reason I didn't, I meant to mention him at the beginning, but I also kind of had him as a surprise guest in the middle of the show. Remember when I did the little halftime show? Darius, that's my son's name, was going to be the second guest because he is a football player, defensive tackle at Virginia Tech. So I thought that would have been perfect to have him on the show to talk about, football one-on-one for us ladies who don't know everything, including his mama. But I ran out of time. So all of that said, I have a lovely, handsome son that I love very much, Darius. He turns 21 tomorrow, which is so exciting, and I can't believe it because I had him when I was 5. Okay. But yeah, so Valentine's Day holds a very special place in my heart because I brought Darius home on Valentine's Day. So today is going to be full of lots of little, tips and tricks and things like that, just in general about home entertaining, but also we're going to be doing a Valentine's Day with a little bit of a twist, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But first, I want to say that whether you are doing something with your sweetheart or if it's just you and your son like me, like for years, like Darius and I on Valentine's Day, I made a big deal about it because I always told him the story about bringing him home on Valentine's Day, and he was the best Valentine's Day present that I ever got. So I would always make Valentine's Day really special, especially also because it was 2 days after his birthday. So Valentine's Day is kind of a big deal. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. I have lots of cute little, things in store. But first and foremost, I wanted to show you guys this lovely drink here. It's a mocktail. You can make it alcoholic if you'd like, but I thought because it's Valentine's Day and everything's going to be pink and red and everything that I'd make a lovely little drink today that was both pink and red. So what this is it's a raspberry spritzer, and it's just sparkling water, raspberry lemonade, fresh lemon juice, and some cranberry raspberry juice. And then I garnished it with some fresh mint and some fresh raspberries. It's very refreshing. And like I said, you can always add a splash of, something alcoholic if that's your jam. That just doesn't happen to be my jam. But it's a great drink and a nice little drink to have for Valentine's Day. Put it in a champagne flute, and it looks very elegant, and it kind of goes with the color scheme for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to take a very short break so I can kind of get ready for the food, which I think is very important on Valentine's Day. I mean, food is important to me any day, but Valentine's Day, I think, food is an expression to me, for me, let me speak for myself. Food is the way I express my love for people, is by cooking and baking and things like that. So as I shared with you last week, so to me, the food is a big to-do. So I'm going to sip on this raspberry spritzer. We're going to take a very short break, and I will be right back with the first course. I'll be right back. everybody. Welcome back to Fabulous Living with Angela Jones. So, we're getting ready to get into the nitty gritty. I know that's another show. I don't mean to steal there, but I'm just, you know what I meant. Get back to the show. The food. So, we set you up with your drink here, and I've been taking a couple of sips of mine. It's a little warm today in Washington, D.C. today. So, yeah. So, we have your drink, and I meant to say, too, I want to show you these cute. I'm really into like napkins. Like I collect like little paper cocktail napkins. I'm really into like linen napkins. So we're all color coordinated with our pink. And then I have these really cute napkins that I got from Sur La Table, which is a specialty food store. They're chains. There's some in Pentagon City. You've seen them around. There's one in Bethesda. But they're really cute. So they have like a little Parisian theme, love kind of thing. So you got to have some cute little napkins to kind of go along with your theme. So let's get right into this food here. So what we have here is for the first course. So my thinking is I feel like people don't eat a lot like they used to. I kind of feel like small plates go over better. So my kind of theme today is doing a Valentine's dinner for two. But we're going to do small plates, and we're going to also do it, since Mardi Gras is this week, we're doing Valentine's Day with a little Mardi Gras twist. And you'll see a little bit more about that in a minute. But for starters, you got to have your vegetables. I'm not a big vegetable person, but I know I need them. But if I am going to eat vegetables, I eat a lot of salads. So what I did today was I decided if we're going to do something you're going to do something for your sweetheart, we need to take it up a level and elevate it a little bit. So I did a salad, but I did it in a cucumber ring. And what we did here is you peel a cucumber. You're going to peel, let's see. And I'll pull it up too so you can, oh wow, that's great. So what I did was I peeled a cucumber, and then I sliced it really thinly, really thin lengthwise, and formed it into a circle. And if you slice it thin enough, it'll adhere to itself, the cucumber will. But unfortunately, I couldn't get mine thin enough, so I had to end up putting like a little toothpick in the back here just to kind of hold it together, but it's okay because it makes a fabulous presentation. So I took the cucumber ring, wrapped it around in a circle, put a toothpick in the back, and then I filled the cucumber ring with mixed greens, dried cranberries, some toasted almonds, some matchstick carrots, really shredded carrots, y'all. Just trying to be fancy, but shredded carrots. And then I fried a slice of bacon, and then I cut it in half, and then I put that in there. That makes a fabulous presentation. So whether it's your husband or or men cook too, or if it's your girlfriend or your wife, and you're having a salad and you don't just want to just kind of put it on the plate, this is a fabulous presentation that, will kind of, zhuzh up your salad a little bit. And then here I just have some balsamic vinaigrette, and you can just simply drizzle it along your salad. And I think it's kind of cute to even eat it on the plate together. I mean, if you're going all out and we're doing this for two and it's Valentine's Day, then we can go ahead and, that's a great shot. Perfect. You can go ahead and eat it on the same plate if you want it. But if you wanted to, you could put it on individual plates and serve it like that. And it's great. And then just simply take the toothpick out, and they can go ahead and indulge. Isn't that a fabulous presentation? I wish we could see a little bit of the top of it a little bit. Can we? Okay. Let me take this dressing off because we don't want to have but there, I wanted you to see. Yes, perfect. Awesome. And it's just a lovely presentation. And this is also a great idea, ladies, if you're having like for Mother's Day or a ladies' tea or a ladies' luncheon or anything, because it's very dainty and the presentation is very fabulous. Don't you agree? So there we have it with the salad. So let's move right into these little lovelies. So I wanted to do cornbread to go with the entree that we're going to have, and you'll see why in a minute, why this is going to go perfectly with that. But oftentimes, when you have your salad course, you often have your bread along with it. So what I did today was I did these are cheddar jalapeno. Yeah, that's better. Cheddar jalapeno corn muffin madeleines. So madeleines they're shaped, as you see, they're shaped like a shell shape. Madeleines are a pastry that you find in France. And it's sort of like a pound cake kind of texture to the cake. And I'll tell you exactly where you've seen them. When you go to Starbucks and you're at the counter and they have like those shortbread cookies, and sometimes they have like 2 madeleines in a package. That's what these are. So I used a madeleine pan, and I wanted to show you what that looked like. So this is the madeleine pan. So you can see it looks like shells. And I basically placed the corn batter in there instead of just like doing like a regular like corn muffin, or just putting it like in a round pan and just slicing it into a triangle. And since I wanted a smaller bite too, I thought that this was perfect. And these pans, again, home goods, like $10. It's awesome. But I wanted to kind of do a different little presentation and kind of make something a little unusual, not the typical kind of, way cornbread would be served. And let me also say, because I'm learning and I'm kind of getting over this, like I'm kind of the thinking that everything needs to be from scratch. Not. This is, since we're kind of doing a Mardi Gras twist, this is actually a boxed cornbread mix. It's Zatarain's. I kind of thought that, hey, that's perfect because we're kind of doing Valentine's Day with a little bit of a Mardi Gras twist. And these are, you can find them in the grocery section, right where you find other cornbread mixes and cake mix and all that in the baking section. And what I like about it is that you have to add so much extra stuff to it that they almost seem like they're homemade. So it's a cup of sharp cheddar cheese. I think it's 2/3 cup milk. Everything's on the back of the package. An egg, and then 6 tablespoons of butter. Butter always makes everything better. But they're wonderful. Just brush them with some warm melted butter, and there you have it. And let me just open one so you can see. Can we zoom in so you can see? You can see a little bits of the cheese. I don't know if you can kind of capture that or not, but you can see a little bit of the cheese, a little bit of the jalapeno in there, and they are delicious. Delicious. So we're going to, next up, I want to kind of show you why we're kind of doing this whole Valentine's Day with a little Mardi Gras twist. These next 2 dishes, you're going to be like, I see where she was going with this whole thing. So after a very short break, we'll be right back with the entree. welcome back to Fabulous Living with Angela Jones. So now you're going to get to see why I was kind of doing this whole, like, teasing you guys with the whole Mardi Gras theme. So, what I have before you is shrimp Creole on a fried grit cake. Say what? Yeah, yeah, y'all. It's good. It's like that. And I don't even eat seafood, but I was even making it going, this is going to be the bomb. I tasted the sauce without the shrimp. Even that alone was amazing. So, like I said, since Mardi Gras, since Fat Tuesday is this Tuesday, like I said, I thought it was the perfect way to kind of marry the two holidays, Valentine's Day and Mardi Gras. So that's what we're kind of saying. We're doing it with a little bit of a twist. And again, like I said, since people aren't, sometimes people don't always want a huge meal. And you've seen a lot of restaurants that are doing like tapas, which are small plates. That's kind of what I'm kind of doing with this whole Valentine's things, like just small little bites. So with the shrimp Creole, this is full of let's see, get that. This is it's a Creole sauces are basically tomato-based sauces. So there's tomato sauce, there's shrimp stock, salt, pepper, and of course, when you're doing any kind of Creole cooking, you've got to have the trilogy. And the trilogy is peppers, onions, celery. That's the base, like you cannot have a Cajun or a Creole kind of dish if you don't have the trilogy. Anybody from that region will tell you it ain't Creole, it's not Cajun if you don't kind of have those flavor profile, that flavor profile of those three things. That's the trilogy: green pepper or peppers, your onions, and celery. And salt, pepper, a little bay leaves, a few bay leaves are in there. Trying to make sure I captured all the major things: a little Worcestershire sauce, a little hot sauce, a little cayenne pepper. And you let this do. And the beauty of this too is that it doesn't take long to cook. You basically are going to saute your shrimp in a little vegetable oil or olive oil, whichever you prefer, and then you're going to, add your peppers and your onions, the trilogy, and your celery, and you kind of let that all get sauteed up, and then you add your sauces. Your tomato sauce, your tomato paste, and your shrimp stock, and just let everything just kind of stew for about half an hour. And the beauty of this is because Valentine's Day is on a Wednesday. This year is right in the middle of the week, so you want something quick. You don't want to have to slave over the stove all, evening long. You want something really quick, and this is perfect. So let me tell you about the grit cakes. So the grit cakes are basically, I made grits the way you would normally make them on the stove. A couple of tips about grits, because grits can go horribly wrong if they're not well salted. So you want to make sure you have enough salt when you're boiling the water for your grits, and then you want to make sure you add a little more afterwards. And I know you're thinking that might be too much. It's not, because grits are one of those things that they are bad if they're not cooked properly. So you definitely want to make sure that you have your water well seasoned, and you also want to make sure that you have the grits seasoned after you add them to the pot. So what I did too is I thought I'd do something a little different. I did yellow grits because I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different and not just have like white grits on the plate. So I did these with yellow grits. So you make the grits like you would normally make them. And this is the cool part. So you take a can, like I used one of the cans that I had from the tomato paste, and I put the grits into the can, covered the grits, put them in the refrigerator, let them sit for 2 hours. Then I took that can out, because the can is going to form the circular shape that you need to make the cake. So you take the can out of the fridge, and then what I did was I flipped the can upside down so that the top of the grits, where the opening was, where you poured the grits in, is now upside down, but it's not going to fall out because it's all in the mold. Then you kind of take your can opener, and then you want to take the can, the lid off the bottom, Then you just take that and you use it almost like, remember like what were those things that um, you used to get from the ice cream truck and you used to push the push pops, y'all. That's it. Push pops. So you kind of want to push and slide the grits out, and they're going to be perfectly molded in a circular shape, like to the shape of the can. Perfect shape to make the grit cakes. Now, another little tip is if you want to make these small, even smaller, and kind of make them more like appetizer size, like really appetizer size, use a really small tomato paste can, and then you can make them even smaller. So you want to take it out and you want to slice it, just like you do cranberry sauce for, when you have it for Thanksgiving or Christmas. You want it about the thickness of a slice of cranberry sauce, and you proceed to just slice them. You get a skillet ready with your olive oil or vegetable oil, again, whatever you prefer, and you fry these babies up. And you don't want them to be, they're not going to be crisp. You just want them to get warm and hot, and so they still kind of form like a cake in a sense. Now you can coat them if you like. I said the next time I make them, I think I want to coat them with maybe some breadcrumbs or something like that, so they really are like have a more of a texture and crunch like something fried. So these are really, even though I'm saying they're fried grit cakes, they're probably more so like sauteed grit cakes, but doesn't fried sound better than sauteed? Of course it does. So you put the grit cake on the plate, and then you proceed to put the shrimp Creole on top, and you have a delectable bite that's Valentine's Day with a little bit of a Mardi Gras twist. How about that? So there you have it. There's our little entree. So next we're going to, I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to take a break. I want to next bring up the dessert. So we're going to put this aside, and we're gonna grab dessert. Yep. Yep. So while they're getting that together for me, sorry about that, guys. While we're getting that all together, put the sauce on. Yeah. Yeah, so while we're getting all of that together, excuse me, guys, let me little disclaimer here while we're getting all that together. I was supposed to have a totally different show planned, and it didn't kind of come together with my guest. Womp womp. So I had to kind of scramble to pull something together for you guys for today, because I thought I was going to have a little help with a guest on, but that's okay. We're going to still make this happen today and make it work. So for the dessert, we're definitely doing a nod to Nolans, as the people down that way say it. So we're going to move out and move right in with the dessert. We have, let me tell you, this bread pudding is slap your mama good. Again, sorry, mommy. I would never slap you because my mother is heavy-handed. She slapped me back. And we have it with, so what makes this more of a, Mardi Gras appropriate kind of thing is we did croissant bread pudding. So everything in like the New Orleans region is very French because it was once a French territory and all that good stuff. So it's a lot of their cuisine is definitely a nod to French cuisine. So I thought instead of using regular bread, typically I use my mother's recipe and I use regular white bread, or I'll use like a crusty French bread. But I thought, hey, we got to do this thing up, and we're going to do this with croissant or croissants, if that's what y'all want to say, but it's really croissant. I mean, I wanted to say it right. Sorry. So we're going to do it with the bread pudding with croissant, and then to give it more of the New Orleans kind of nod, we're going to kind of do it with bananas Foster. So much to talk about. So first, let me show you guys what that looks like, and we could have Reggie was being a little stingy with the sauce, my brother, who's my assistant today. But that's okay. That's okay. He's looking at me like, girl, I just came in here to be a support to you. I wasn't really trying to help you with your show today. I thought it was going to be a low-key show. But he should know his sister. But we're going to do a little bit, just put a little more. We want to put a little more sauce on it, just a little bit. Actually, you can probably pour all of it on. Just go for it. Let's see. This is actually, hey, there, now we're cooking with grease. There we go. Thank you, guys. My brother just rolled his eyes at me like, really, girl? Story of my life. He's been doing that forever. See how it's nice? I don't know if you can see the steam coming from it. It's nice and hot. Okay, let me get to it, y'all. So that I can, for my brother and his girlfriend, so they can go ahead and eat it. That's their reward for being such a big help to me. Yay! Woo! My brother's like, get out of here. Okay, so anyway, let's get down to the bread pudding. So the bread pudding. Let me kind of give you a little backstory on bread pudding. I've never liked bread pudding. And I think it's one of those things that people either like or they don't. And I find that most people don't because it's a texture thing. Sometimes people are like, oh, it's too wet, or people put raisins in it, or some people put like fruit and stuff in it. I keep mine very simple. There's no like dried fruit or raisins or anything like that, mainly because I don't like raisins. But if that's your thing, definitely add raisins to it. Sometimes people put apples in it or peaches, like I mentioned. But I decided to just kind of keep it basic. I just kind of really started eating bread pudding maybe about 5-6 years ago, and I've only started eating my mom's bread pudding. Excuse me, y'all. It's a little warm today. And like I said, she's always kept it kind of basic. And I like the fact that with this recipe, you can kind of play with it and make it your own. I'm definitely going to post the recipe that I used on the blog, but you can really kind of feel it. It's kind of one of those kind of dishes that you kind of have to feel as you're making it. I personally don't like mine to be really wet, but I don't necessarily want it to be dry either. So you can always kind of play around with the amount of the liquid that you put in. Typically, bread pudding is, let me just give you like the basics. Bread pudding is bread, your milk, sugar, vanilla, cinnamon, eggs. That's it in your bread pudding. That's all you have to do to make your bread pudding. And all it is basically all of the liquid, everything besides the bread is going to just form a custard. And then you're just simply going to pour that over the bread and you bake it. That's it. And the beauty of it is these are all things you have at home. It's not anything special that you have to, go to the store and get. You don't even have to get a special dish. You can really just put it in a 9x13 pan. The only reason mine is in a small or portions like this is because I wanted to do it for Valentine's Day. So I wanted to make it something for two. So what I did was, this necklace won't let me be great, so I'm going to take it off. So I did mine in a springform pan, like small individual springform pans. The springform pans are the pans where you bake typically cheesecake in them or coffee cakes and things like that, and there's like a bottom, and then you clamp the sides, and then you can lift the cake out. So that's what I did these in, individual springform pans. But again, you just bake it in a 9x13 dish, and you are good to go. What other things do I want to tell you about this? So typically my mom, like I said, always did white bread. Of course, we're doing it with croissant. And the other thing she always did was she only did it with white sugar. Well, I did mine with both white sugar and brown sugar. So that really made the custard kind of, so once it baked, it kind of caramelized. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. So amazing. And then, again, you just put the custard on top, bake it for about 35 minutes, and you're set. Now, as far as the Bananas Foster sauce, that is basically your sugar, your butter. I added a little bit of bourbon to it. You can add rum, but I happen to have bourbon on hand. Remember, I had that last week from the orange bourbon chicken, so I figured, hey, got to add some to the Bananas Foster. Of course, slice some bananas, and you're just going to saute all of that in a pan together until it forms a sauce. Now, what I did, which was a little different, because I always like to color outside the lines. I don't follow instructions sometimes very well when it comes to food. I like to play with my food and kind of do something a little bit different. So I added a little bit of heavy whipping cream to the sauce. Y'all, amazing. And then you just simply pour that over top of the bread pudding. Now, a couple of other things I want to tell you can do with this too. You can also add a dollop of vanilla ice cream on top. You can just do it with a caramel sauce. You could also add, if you wanted to add like nuts to the sauce, you can definitely add nuts. Pecans would go really well with this. You can definitely do that. You can definitely, like I said, you can definitely play around with this dish and make it your own. So there you have it. We have croissant bread pudding with bananas Foster's sauce. So I'm going to, as promised, let my brother and his girlfriend Nikki dig into this, and we'll be right back after a very short break. everybody. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Y'all remember that from the Carol Burnett show, or am I like dating myself? Anyway, I had a good time pulling this all together to do our little Valentine's Day show with a little bit of a Mardi Gras twist. So I hope that you learned a couple of things and some little tips and tricks you can take with you along the way. I'm definitely going to have everything posted on the blog or on Instagram this week. I promise you. The recipes from last week plus this week. So y'all are going to make a sister work this week. I got a lot of work to do, but I promise you I'm going to get everything up on the blog. Remember, the spinach dip from last week is already up. The candy from last week is already up. And I'll definitely make sure that I get the chicken and the salmon ball from last week up. And then you'll definitely have everything on from today, because you all are going to need these recipes for your Valentine's Day. You need them in your life. So next week we're going to kind of start to. This is Black History Month, and I would be remiss if I didn't do something to acknowledge Black History Month. I'm still trying to brainstorm of exactly what angle I want to kind of take on it, but we're definitely going to do something to pay homage to our forefathers and those that came before us in honor of Black History Month. So until next week, everybody have a happy rest of the Sunday. Have a very fabulous week, and I'll see you next Sunday at 5. Blessings.